Tired of teams with superstar quarterbacks begging for pimp your franchises. I've watched Geno Smith.
They wrote me off. I ain't right back, though.
Blame it on me. That's all you can do. Blame it on me.
Jimmy G.
A brothel in Vegas has offered Jimmy Garoppolo free sex for life.
Aiden O'Connell.
This is hard. Just hard. Yeah, definitely tough.
Play quarterback for my team. 2 playoff appearances in my 27 years of lifetime. Man, I am tired. Wyatt, we will be helping you out. Welcome to the opening bell of the NFL Stock Exchange podcast. Connor, I'd never seen that clip before. I'd never seen the Stephen A. Smith.
Free sex for life.
But it's the way he said it.
Yeah.
It's the way he said it in the Stephen A. Smith cadence.
He's become a multi-millionaire off of the way he says things. At some way, you just gotta respect. He's a meme machine.
Tyrion Lannister's career goals right there. That would have been what he strived
that's exactly right.
Hello,
good brothel.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another edition of Fix Your Franchise here on the NFL Stock Exchange podcast, or as the addicts know it, as Pimp Your Franchise. Very excited for this one because, boy, do we have a lot of work to do. This was an organization that, I'm going to be honest, Connor, I was excited about coming into the year. Did they have everything? No, but I thought it'd be a little bit more in the right direction. We figured it out. I actually like the Pete Carroll hire, but there's so much that we've got to get into about the disconnect, it feels like, between what he wants versus what John Spytek, their general manager, wants versus is the roster able to win in the short term, building it for the long term. It's just all of that disconnect has led us to this point. And so we got a lot of work to do today, buddy. How you feeling?
I'm good. Yeah, this is absolutely quite the process, this one. And I agree. I thought the Pete Carroll hire would get them back to respectability, and then maybe he can hand this off to somebody in a couple years or so, even 2 years or so. And it does feel like they've almost gone even more backwards here. There's just not a clear plan for this roster. I hate the structure of the offense. I think the defense just doesn't have talent outside of Max Crosby pretty much. So we're going to get into all of it today, but it's definitely been one of the more disappointing seasons. And I'm not saying they were expecting to be a playoff team, but I thought they'd be a middle of the pack team. I thought they'd win 6 games maybe this year. How it looks is really the problem right now.
No, 100%, because, if you were to say that the Raiders were going to be 3rd or 4th in the division, I think that everyone would be like, yeah, okay, probably. You've got the Chargers that are ascending, the Broncos that were getting ready, and then, of course, the Chiefs are the Chiefs. So I don't think anybody would have batted an eye if they would have been last in the division, but certainly thought it'd be a lot more competitive than what they were or what they have been to this point. So to everybody who might be new here, as we know that we get a lot of new fans who are watching these Fix Your Franchise episodes, what we will do here is we'll take a look at everything. We'll look at the last couple of years, sort of how we got here, the big moves to how this 2025 season came to be with the front office, the coaching staff, the roster, all that good stuff. We'll look at draft history, what went well, what didn't. We'll look at the current roster, identify some core players, look at some guys who might be on their way out. We'll sort of get a projected starting lineup as well. We'll look at free agency, how much money they have to spend, some free agent targets, and then we'll end things off with a 3-round Raiders-specific mock draft. And then all the way at the end, we'll bring it all together, and we'll tell you how we fixed this franchise here. Got some Super Chats here to start the show, because we love to do that for the people that are in the chat early, because we opened up the show about 10 minutes before we actually go live. Connor, $5 Super Chat right off the bat said, not to derail the Pimp Your Franchise, but which quarterbacks in this draft would best fit McVay? Someone they need to take with the Falcons pick maybe, or later? Shoot, Connor. If Ty Simpson's in this class and they have the opportunity to pick him, I love what I've seen from Ty Simpson so far. Look, it's not perfect from him. The accuracy is a little bit of an issue. He's not been great under pressure, especially as of late. But, dude, first year starting from him, he already understands the layered concepts over the middle. He knows how to set protections. He knows how to get through progressions in his reads. Man, love what I have seen from a football IQ standpoint from Ty Simpson early on. So if they had the chance to draft him, I think he would be a great predecessor.
And I'll say this, say Ty Simpson declares but goes too early and Mendoza goes too early. Maybe Dante Moore ends up declaring. He tries to strike while the iron's hot, and then quarterback class is the perfect place for him to sit and develop behind Matthew Stafford for a year or whatever it's going to be. With the way Moore can play out of structure, his accuracy and touch in structure, he would be somebody I think with time can fit McVay really, really well. How about this from Jace Jager? $4.99 super chat. Thank you. 2026 offensive line reinforcement. Keegan Trost, right tackle Mizzou, 6'4", 316, right tackle, left tackle experience. He's got the run block grade in there. He's got the pass block grade in there. He's got the Black Friday 40% off hashtag.
There we go, baby.
You love to see it. Well done, Jace.
Hey, if people want to see those numbers for yourself, 40% off. PFF Plus subscription right now. Folks, that's $6 a month if you do the math. If you get it at 40% off, it's $6 a month. So Black Friday, that's the promo code. Go get it. Make sure you can run all the mock draft simulator things that you want there. This $10 super chat from Ethan. The Raiders need to sign the female zookeeper from Madagascar 3. Elite short area quickness and ball carrier vision. Then trade Genty to the Jets for a 1. Jets will accept this because they are a poverty franchise. Whoa! All right. Second part of the super chat. We didn't need it. Oh, Connor, you're muted. Connor, you're muted. You're muted. You're muted.
I'm muted.
You were muted.
Am I back?
You're back now.
I did not mute myself.
Whoa.
What kind of shenanigans are going on here?
Maybe
anyway,
maybe it was Ethan.
Yeah, well, because I got something to say to you, Ethan. If you're a fan of about 28 of the NFL franchises, you can call the Jets poverty. You can. You like the Rams, you like the Seahawks, the Colts, the Patriots. You do not. You do not. This is like being a homeless man on the sidewalk and walking by another homeless person and going, broke ass. You don't get to do that. You do not get to do that. And God, man, it's I wouldn't love that trade right now for the Jets.
I bet you wouldn't.
I wouldn't love it. By the way, I haven't seen Madagascar 3.
I have not either. Haven't either.
You can't just make references to forget sequels, a trilogy.
Threequels.
Yeah, how many people have seen the trilogy? I actually would like to know. Maybe I'm wrong. I'm wrong.
Fire it off of the chat afterwards. Comments. Have you seen Madagascar 3? Need to know. Okay, we got 2 more super chats, and then we'll get underway here with the Raiders Fix Your Franchise. One of them is topical. The other one's from Peter, who, of course, we have to read because he owns the podcast. Daniel Sauter said, guys, Al Davis called me. Said, if you're not drafting Lenora Sellers, Caden Proctor, and Nick Harbor in the mock draft, you're not doing it the Raiders way. To be honest with you, Daniel, could be 3 starters. All jokes aside, could honestly be 3 starters for this team. And then, of course,
2028.
I mean, I didn't say what year it was going to be. They could all be starters for the Raiders. And then, of course, Peter, who pays all of our bills, 169 super chat.
Oh my God,
dude, he's the
goat.
Peter. He really is. He said, first, no Aiden O'Connell slander will be tolerated. I agree. As somebody who someone who caped for Aiden O'Connell as much as anybody not related to him could have possibly done so before the draft. I agree. He said, that's my guy. Fun fact, I went to high school with both him and Jalen Brunson.
Wow.
Damn. It's crazy that both of those guys were still not the most athletic person at their high school, and that was obviously Peter there.
Peter. He just chose to log on all day and send us super chats
100%.
Instead of being a professional athlete.
It was out of the kindness of his heart that he decided to not play quarterback for the football team in high school so that Aiden O'Connell could, look good and get the scholarships. He's like, you know what? I'm going to let Aiden have this one. I know I would start every single game and he would be my backup.
Step aside.
Yeah, he's stepping aside, which we love. He said, second, love you too. And the Addicts so much. Appreciate you, Peter. Appreciate the Addicts. Let's get into it. Let's get into this Fix Your Franchise here for the Las Vegas Raiders. Let's go back to 2021 first and look at their record. Who was their head coach at the time? 2021, that was the final year that John Gruden started that year as the head coach, and then Rich Bisaccia took over. They finished 10-7 that season and actually made the playoffs. This is when Derek Carr was still their quarterback. They ended up losing in the wild card round that year. 2021, the following year, they were just 6-11. I think Derek Carr was 6-9, if I remember correctly, and then the last 2 games of the season is when he got benched for Jarrett Stidham. He stepped away from the team. They knew that his time there was done. That was the first year with Josh McDaniels as their head coach. Then they go into 2023. McDaniels gets fired. Antonio Pierce gets elevated to head coach. They actually finish 8-9. It looked like, wow, okay, this team's fighting. This team's going in the right direction here. They sign Antonio Pierce to be their full-time head coach. That lasts 1 season. They go 4-13. And now they have Pete Carroll sitting here at 2-8. Connor, I think that we have to sort of have this conversation as we talk about the head coaching situation as a whole. But I wanted to paint this picture for the Raiders because at this point, I don't know if you can give Pete Carroll another year.
Yeah.
I love Pete Carroll, the coach. He has been a cornerstone of the game of football, whether it's been in college or the NFL, over the last 20 years. But right now, with him, what is he, 75?
He just turned 74 in September.
He just turned 74. You're now in control of a roster that was 2-8. You probably were only going to be the head coach for, 2 to 3 years anyways?
Yeah. I mean,
Pete's got that. If you're fully turning the page, man, you got to think about moving on. As hard as that might be with all of the coaching turnover they've had over the last 5 years.
I know, and Pete's got that live forever mentality. Like, I'm sure he didn't take this job thinking it, but I think everybody else was kind of looking around and going, okay, this was a good hire once again to develop some stability and an infrastructure and change things, and then eventually set somebody up to take over. But Pete Carroll, who, you nailed it, Trevor, an incredible football life he's had and he's currently having. His energy at his age is you would think the guy is not even 60. It's unbelievable. But they just feel like a rudderless ship right now, because it's one thing to have a roster that is not even close to where it needs to be, and you don't have an answer at quarterback. But Pete Carroll built out this staff, and Chip Kelly's been awful this year.
Yeah,
there's no other way. There's no other way. And Chip Kelly is one of the most fascinating coaches of the last 2 decades, because he has these weird blips of great success. It feels like when all the ingredients are there, and he's been one of the innovators of football over the last 2 decades at certain times, but he just doesn't have it at the NFL level to call plays right now in terms of they can't establish the run. They took a running back in the top 10. You would think they would do that. Their flow of run pass is brutal to watch. If you only watch the Cowboys game this year, you could see that.
Mm-hmm.
The Brock Bowers injury this year made things even worse, because then it felt like he was trying to play through a lower body injury that just totally hampered him and made him 60% of Brock Bowers. And 60% of Brock Bowers is not a game-changing presence. So, yeah, the constant changing of coaches, it feels like people would be critical of them for that. But I think it's fair to say they just haven't had the right one.
Yeah.
They didn't have the right one. Josh McDaniels is an amazing offensive coordinator, but when he gets shots to be a head coach, it hasn't worked out.
Yeah.
But then, you know what they say, Trevor, never hire the interim coach. And they went that route, and the locker room was behind Antonio Pierce.
Well, why'd they do it? Because they didn't want to change again.
Right. It's
Gruden, Bisaccia, Josh McDaniels.
Yes.
They didn't want to change again. You know?
Right. They didn't want to change, but they aren't good enough in those forms to retain those guys eventually. And now they're going to run into that same issue again, because it's just hard to imagine the plan that Pete Carroll turns this thing around so quickly next year. This feels like a team that just needs to embrace the full long-term rebuild. And that's going to be a large conversation of that.
Right.
And if you are embracing as ownership and the front office, because I don't think the front office necessarily needs to be fired, although I'm open to that conversation for anybody that has opinions. I think they need to actually have a shot. Right.
I'm not.
Okay.
Obviously,
so we're on the same plane there.
Yeah, I have a little bit of Bucks bias, because that's where John Spytek, their general manager, came from. But he came under the Jason Light tree, and he's been with the Buccaneers since 2016. And since 2016, I mean, the Bucks have had some of the best success in the draft and with team building of anybody in the NFL. I know people are going to be like, oh, they got Tom Brady. Like, oh, how hard could it be? But again, you got to go back to, there's a reason why Tom Brady chose the Buccaneers. And it's because that roster was a quarterback away. And that's why he ended up choosing Tampa Bay. Obviously, the coaching staff and everything, those relationships helped. But John Spytek was Jason Light's right-hand man for the last 4 years. I think he knows how to build a team. And I think this is actually where the problem sort of arises here. And we'll get into, we don't have to see all the draft history stuff yet, but when you look at this team versus who they drafted, Connor, they had an 11-player draft class this past class in 2025. Okay, that was the first with Pete Carroll and John Spytek. 10 of them are still on the active roster or practice squad. The only one who's on the practice squad is Cam Miller, who was a 6th-round pick for them, quarterback. And the only one who's not is Tommy Mellott, who was the quarterback / wide receiver athlete who they cut. And that's the only one of them they cut. So they kept everybody else. But here's the interesting part about this. This team is 2-8, all right? They have an 11-player draft class. 10 of them are still there. Of those 10 players, Ashton Genty is the only one who is playing more than 50% of his side of the ball snaps right now. Deontay Thornton is the only additional one who's played more than 35% of the snaps. You got Jack Besh, who's playing less than 30% of the snaps. You got Darian Porter, who's playing less than 35% of the team snaps. Between Caleb Rogers and Charles Grant, your 2 third-round offensive linemen, they've played count them, 1 snap. 1. So to me, this speaks to a massive disconnect with the players that John Spytek drafted versus the players that Pete Carroll wants to play. Now, not every rookie is ready to play right away. I totally understand that. But, Connor, we watched the Jack Besh tape last year. We watched Jack Besh when he was at the Senior Bowl. This team needs wide receivers. They traded away Jacoby Myers. They've had Brock Bowers has been hurt throughout this season.
Yeah, but what did they go and do? That just aligned with everything you just said.
What?
They went out and signed Tyler Lockett when he was cut.
Well,
and he plays all the time.
And that's exactly what I'm saying. Pete Carroll got in here, and in my opinion, his vision for this roster was not what John Spytek's was. And I think in a vacuum, I would want to keep Pete Carroll for another season. But the problem is that the way that he has dealt with the roster this year, amidst all of its struggles, makes me feel like him and John Spytek are not on the same page at all with the type of players that they want to bring in to build this team. And if that's the case, I'm picking John Spytek over Pete Carroll.
Yeah, I don't think the combo is even a choice. I think it's ultimately, do you fire them both or do you just fire Pete? And I think the answer is you just move on from Pete.
I think so
because
too.
I'm with you, Trevor. Spytek comes from an organization that knows how to not only compile draft capital and cherish it, but utilize it, right, across every single round. And it feels like there was just they kind of wanted it both ways, the Raiders. They wanted a guy that can remake this entire roster over time, but they also wanted a coach that can give them, that shot in the arm a little bit, like kind of shock them back to being a middle of the pack team rather than being a basement dweller. Right. And it's so hard to mesh those two things. I saw somebody in the chat just say, like, are they tanking? And it's like, no, they are not tanking. Pete Carroll, right. Pete Carroll. Pete Carroll. I know what a tank looks like.
The unironic tank.
Yes. Oops. I think that it's just a scenario where they did what they could moves wise, like trading for and paying Geno. That was it, rather than, hey, let's be real. This team could, and this is a hindsight thing. I wasn't telling them to do it. I'm just saying they could have taken Jackson Dart or Tyler Shuck or Shedeur Sanders, who clearly wanted to go there. I'm not saying that's the right move. I'm just saying every move they made, you took you know what teams take running backs in the first round? Teams that think they're closer usually than they are. Yeah. Like even when the Chargers took Hampton, we were like, well, the Chargers are pretty good. He is a dynamic weapon for their offense. They're a team that can probably afford this. We'll see. But when I overlooked this at the time. I was like, Genty's just going to be a one-man offense and it'll work. But like the Raiders really couldn't afford that pick. It's why actually I think I had them taking Membu. I was like, they're going to just foundation this thing. You need a right tackle. Take Membu, and then just kind of keep it rolling. And they tricked the hell out of me. I know you knew they were taking Genty. You nailed it.
Yeah.
It's just, and that looks like, it's tough to say because I really like Ashton Genty and he's going to be way better than what he's shown. But there's no way you could watch football this year and not just call it a flat out mistake taking him over Armand Membu, who's been
well, I think the other talking point here is, look, and I know people want us to bring this up and talk about it because it's Pete Carroll's son, Brendan Carroll, who is the offensive line coach now for this team. And I think the big deal here is, especially going into that debate of taking Membu versus taking Genty, I was fine with them taking Genty, honestly, because like the offensive line was okay last year. But now, Tyler, if you want to throw back up some of the offensive grades that they had, look at the pass blocking grade. They're 25th in the NFL. Run blocking grade, they're 26th in the NFL. You look at EPA per pass, EPA per rush, they're 28th, they're 31st. Like, they've gotten worse. If you told me that this offensive line, now Colton Miller's been hurt, that's a big deal.
That's a huge loss.
But if you told me that the Raiders' offensive line was at a baseline going to be what they were last year, maybe a little bit better, I think the Genty pick could have worked out. The problem is they're worse. The problem is Pete Carroll and that offensive staff got in there and they're like, yeah, we're moving Jordan Meredith to center and we're moving Jackson Powers Johnson out to guard. You're like, wait, what? And now like Dylan Parham, they signed Alex Kappa. He hasn't been great. Dylan Parham's been okay. DJ Glaze has regressed a little bit. And then obviously you don't have Colt Miller out there either. So to me, that's the big problem. And that's, again, an indictment on the coaching staff is the players got worse. I looked at this roster going into last year, and I love the addition of Pete Carroll. And to be honest with you, I really love the addition of Chip Kelly as well. I thought that was a great hire. He was coming off being the offensive coordinator for Ohio State. I thought it was going to work. They were assembling a coaching staff with a lot of just football and NFL experience. I thought the guy that was going to make the guys on the roster better, and through John Spytek, they were going to be able to build towards the future. Very wonderful thing to say in theory. Clearly, it did not work because their vision for what this roster was has not worked, and in a lot of ways, this team has gotten worse. So that's sort of why I am at the point where I love Pete. I think players love playing for Pete. He's got a ton of energy despite him being one of the oldest coaches in the NFL. But you probably have to fire Chip Kelly. The Raiders are on their third offensive line coach in 3 years now with Brendan Carroll. And Patrick Graham has somehow, their defense coordinator, has somehow survived 3 regimes? Because he's been their defense coordinator since 2022. So he was the defensive coordinator under Josh McDaniels. He got jumped for the interim head coach spot because, remember, Antonio Pierce was the linebacker coach. He was the DC. And they elevated Antonio Pierce to that head coaching spot. So he's retained under Antonio Pierce. And now he's retained under Pete Carroll again.
Well, he comes with the place. When you walk in the Raiders facility, they go,
he does. Buy one, get one deal. Buy one, get one. Patrick Graham.
He's always here.
He is. But you know what I'm saying? Like, the defense is horrendous this year. So you basically have to fire both coordinators this year, and you're starting over with a head coach who's in his older age. He wouldn't get to be around that much longer. So,
and here's another problem.
I'm just like, we got to move on here.
And if you actually granted him the power to do that you fire both coordinators, one of the most glaring issues with this team is the regression of the offensive line and the step backward they've taken.
Yes, 100%.
Which the coach is his son, so he's not doing that. So this is just wipe out the coaching staff. I don't take pride in saying that. You know, I have friends in the league that are NFL coaches that have been fired, and there's nothing worse than, you know, people having to uproot their being a coach. A coach's life is very, very hard because you get fired a lot, you move a lot. It's the reality for this team. Like, there's just it's the move they have to make right now if they want to start the beginning of a new era.
Yep.
That is going to take some time. But man, just dragging this rudderless ship along of trying to scratch to be this 7 or 8 win team is pointless. It's pointless. Yeah. Which brings, like, when do you want to have the Max Crosby conversation? Because that's been in the chat a lot. I think it's a huge talking point of this entire thing.
Let's because I do want to talk about potential head coaching candidates, and then when we get to the roster building part of it, we will have the full-on Max Crosby conversation. I see a lot of people in the chat, they're saying, hey, like, just let Spy Tech clean house. get a new head coach, just start it. Because, and to be honest with you guys, I agree with you. I think that's the way they need to operate. For as much as like I said, I've loved Pete over the years. You are now in a spot where I think you took a risk this offseason with trading for Geno Smith instead of wanting any quarterback that wasn't named Cam Ward, which I can understand.
Yeah.
You sort of took a chance and you were like, hey, maybe we could be a little bit sneaky this year. And let's see. If we can, we'll build off of it. If not, we maybe are hitting the reset button. But the fact of the matter is, Broncos are sitting here at 8-2. They're probably going to win the division. They're feeling pretty good. That's a damn good football team. The Kansas City Chiefs are still the Kansas City Chiefs. And the Los Angeles Chargers are a damn good football team and one of the most injured football teams in the league. You are clearly, without question, the fourth best team in your division. And you are going the wrong way while the Broncos and the Chargers are going up and the Chiefs still have Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes. You have to understand where your winning windows are. And for the Raiders, it's not going to be 2026. And I think that they should clean house because of that.
It's not. This division, tip your cap to the 9-2 Broncos who
9-2. Thank you.
9-2
Somebody corrected me in the chat. Matt's like, hey, 9-2.
Don't forget that.
I can't take. I can't take the Chiefs.
It wasn't easy. We're not forgetting that 9th win, and even the Chargers, who have been a high variance team this year, but the Chargers are highly competitive and have done a lot of really good things. The Raiders need, yes, a reality check of we are so far away from the other three teams in this division, and I hate doing this, but this is kind of apt here. There's a comparison here for me with the Jets, where the Jets halfway through this season looked around and were like, the Patriots have turned it around. We're not close to them. Mm-hmm. We're obviously not close to Buffalo. Miami's a weird team. They're like, the AFC East is not as strong as this division, but the Jets made the hard decision of, by the time we're good again, Quinnen Williams is going to be 30. Right? The Sauce trade is a different combo, but Quinnen Williams, who's the same age as Max Crosby, or turns the same age as Max Crosby in a month, I think. So he's even younger than him. Like, you need to figure out your windows and just be like, we got to start carving out a pathway that we're going to get a shot at a franchise quarterback. We need to reshape this roster a certain way. We got to clear out cap space so we can get free agents that fit our scheme. And for the Raiders right now, yeah, they need to kind of face that reality here. And I think with them, the difference is, though, it does start with a coaching staff that works with Spy Tech to identify the kind of players they need on the roster and to go from there. But asset management and asset allocation is going to be massive for this team over the next year.
Matt's in the chat. Chargers would be 10-1 if their tackles were healthy. I'm not biased, I swear. Sean is saying the Raiders are 3 years away from being 3 years away. They're not 3 years away from 3 years away. It changes quick in the NFL. But I do think, like Connor just said, you got to take a good hard look at it. Brent's saying, I don't think Mark Davis has the money to clean house. That I can't speak
to. Then you can't own an NFL team.
Yeah, I don't know. I can't speak to that. I'm not sure.
But it's fair, Brent. Like, this is a thing that I see come up all the time. This came up for multiple coaches with them the last couple of years. By the way, hilarious comment here from Callum Rogers, my old coworker at Bleacher Report, by the way.
All right.
If this actually fixes the Raiders, Connor and I will finally be even after he briefly hijacked my BR email account when he got hired. Love the pod. Because we were both C. Rogers at Bleacher Report.
You got his ass.
Yeah, I felt bad. I felt so bad for Callum. He would have to forward me emails like every week. And this is how nice of a person he is. He'd be like, hey, this is obviously for you. And it would be like an email from me that he would get sent all the time. So nobody was probably happy with him when I left.
Were you doing draft takes at the time? Because he was probably getting a lot of hate mail too.
Yeah,
so
he'd be like, hey, idiot, I hate this mock draft. And he's like,
I'm not even writing it.
Can you imagine not even being the author of a mock draft and getting crap for it?
Dude, I mute the tweets on my own mock drafts.
Yeah, you have to.
And I'm the one writing them.
As soon as it goes live, mute this conversation. Go on with the day.
All right. Hey, by the way, a lot of people watching this show. We appreciate you guys. When we do these Fix Your Franchise, we get so many new people that join and get in on the chat and take a look at what NFL Stock Exchange is all about. We would love for you guys to subscribe to the show. It's a free, very easy way to support the show. If we've ever made content that has made you laugh or you've enjoyed or learned something from, we'd love for you to be a part of the Attic. So check to see if you're subscribed or not. If you're not, we would love for you to be a part of the family. So we appreciate you guys. We're going to talk about the draft history here in a second. But before we do that, parenting, folks, all the parents out there, filled with all sorts of high-pressure decisions. It can be difficult to tell if we made the right decision for our kids, especially when it comes to their financial future. But opening up a UGMA Kids Investment Account to start their investment journey and give them a financial head start, that's a good way to do that. Fabric by Gerber Life was designed by parents for parents to make it easy to plan for and manage your family's financial path. With the Kids Investment Account for Fabric, you guys can start investing in your child's future today. Kids can't invest while they're minors, but a UGMA Kids Investment Account allows you to invest on their behalf, gives their investments so much more time to grow. The whole thing is online. It's very easy to set up an account. It could take you as little as just 5 minutes, and you get started with $1 a day. No contribution limits on it. It's got multiple tax advantages. SIPC insured up to $500,000. No commission fees either. Just a low flat monthly maintenance fee. Join the thousands of parents who trust Fabric to help protect their family. Start investing in your child today at meetfabric.com/stock exchange. That's meetfabric.com/stock exchange. MEET fabric.com/stock exchange. The portfolios are managed by Fort Washington Investment Advisors Incorporated. Additional services provided by Apex Clearing Corporation. All investing is subject to risk. Learn more at meetfabric.com. Connor's probably hammering.
I'm here. No.
Yep.
No, ad break 2. I'm not hungry yet.
All right, sorry. All right, speaking of hammering, let's get through some of these super chats here before we get into the draft history.
I feel bad. Ethan sent us a super chat, and all I did was roast him, so I want to apologize off the top. We're both poverty, though, Ethan. I was going
to say, you went after he went after your team, you went after his team.
Yeah.
Then you guys, look, you bro hug afterwards.
Yep. Madagascar 3 in the chat was pretty popular. I guess I know what I'm watching this weekend.
Was it?
Yeah, but I did see somebody that was like, saw it in theaters. Awful film. Anyway, Zachy641. Thank you, Zachy. I know you're a frequent visitor here. No Drake May joke this week. Only a shout out to the true MVP of the NFLSC seducer, Tyler, the chef Cook. Shout out to Tyler Cook. Producer, seducer. No comment.
The official seducer of the show, Tyler the Chef Cook. By the way, did you see the Pro Football Reference officially put Drake May's nickname
as Drake May?
We did it. I'm going to count that as a victory for the Addicts.
Remember how we were saying, can we come up with a nickname that spreads like wildfire after the whole Cowboy Ohtani story?
That's true.
We were trying to do it with Sawyer Robertson, which we still will. Doc.
Doc Robinson? Yeah.
But Drake May
is a good one.
Is great.
Archie, $2 super chat. Watching him work, boss doesn't know. Wish me luck. Hopefully you're still around, Archie. Appreciate you.
Yeah.
$2 from Dalton as well. Please pimp Pittsburgh. We're stuck in the master lock. You know, I feel like anytime your floor is 500, maybe we do need to figure out a good way to just like rapid fire
the pimp threshold. Really, there has to be a pimp threshold.
What is the pimp threshold? We do need to.
What is the threshold to be pimp? Carson, thank you for the super chat. Just bought 3 Costco boxes of Uncrustables. What's your response, little fella?
Wow.
Oh my God, I've been owned online. I've never bought 3 Costco boxes of Uncrustables because they are big. They take up like a shelf of the basement freezer. I only usually have one, maybe one after half has been 3. Yeah, you're in a different league, partner. I surrender.
I heard that, partner. Just hit him with a partner there.
Yeah.
That's not it's a subtle one. Just very
you didn't let it pass.
Mike at $10 super chat. I'm a Princeton in sports Elon class. I'm assuming that you're saying that you're student.
Yeah, he's not like I am Princeton.
It kind of sounds like, I don't know, maybe him and Andre Yoshivas got a fight about it.
Yeah,
Who's the lone Princeton?
You are Princeton, Micah. Go on.
Says, what football trend phenomenon should I examine? Example, does X have an effect on Y? You know what I would actually say right off the top of my head? There's a lot more teams running not just nickel personnel, but dime personnel. Yeah. And I would love to see the run defense rates for teams that are trying to continue to get fast. The Seahawks it feels like on the forefront and they're the top of this, but I
Mike
feel
McDonald's
like
a lunatic.
A lot of teams are going to try to follow suit, and you're going to see a lot of teams try to do this without a Kyle Hamilton, without a Nicky Manwari, and I'm very curious to see if this trend continues, even if you don't have that freak athlete at safety, or if we're just going to keep prioritizing these guys maybe in the draft.
Well, I have one, Micah. I would actually like somebody to do a study, and I'm sure somebody that covers the Lions is already working on this, to do a study of when the analytics actually say go for it and when Dan Campbell actually is following that versus
That's
Dan Campbell being like, I'm Dan Campbell. I am the analytics chart. Because I don't think it's the analytics said go for it 9 times in a row.
Yeah, right. That's true. That is true. That's a good one as well. Hoffy, $2 super chat. Perfect. I'm in here in time to see that first round tight
We
end.
don't forget that, Trevor. We do not forget that.
You don't need to.
Who is it again? You had going to that? Was it Colson Loveland or Tyler Warren?
No, it's Tyler Warren. Hey,
No.
Hoffy,
No.
you look me in the eye right now. You look me in the eye
You got owned.
and tell me that Tyler Warren on this team right now is not better.
Well, that's a different combo. But
Tell me, how's it a different combo? I mocked Tyler Warren to this team.
I feel like Michael Mayer's been good this year.
And I was ridiculed. No, he has been good this year. I was ridiculed, persecuted for it even.
Yeah, you were.
And I was right. You guys are booing me. I was right.
Lean into it. Kart Racer 56, thank you for the super chat. At what point does the media and draft analysts need to start talking about Emmett Johnson at Nebraska? Leads the nation in rushing, and it feels like no one is talking about him. Kart Racer, we have talked about Emmett Johnson on College Countdown the last time we had Nebraska. So we had USC at Nebraska. We talked about Emmett Johnson a lot, but I love the call out because you're talking about him, I think, in a draft capacity. He deserves more love. He's been phenomenal. And I think people will catch up after the season.
Hurricane $2 super chat said, is Caden Proctor just football Trevor Zegras?
Zegras.
Yeah.
That's an amazing.
I don't know who that is.
So Zegras is now on the Flyers. He was on the Ducks for a while.
Okay.
I think he's one of those guys.
Is he 360 pounds on skates? Because
no, he's
terrifying.
very skinny. Very skinny. He's
You're losing me here. You're losing me with the Caden Proctor comp.
Here's why. He's actually from New York. But Zegras is one of those guys that for so long, the perception of him was totally different than what he actually is. The perception of him was that he was an NHL superstar, but that's really because he would just score highlight reel goals, like the lacrosse goal and these like crazy passes and deflections, but it didn't translate to consistent, sustainable winning hockey. And I think the perception of Caden Proctor is that he is like Jonathan Ogden in prospect form. But anybody that watches tape of Caden Proctor, and also there's the fact that he gets the cool kind of trick plays as well to even compare him more to Trevor Zegras. So that's a really good call, Hurricane.
$10 from Toloco Badger. Every time I think that this year the Raiders won't be on a fixture franchise, then I'm inevitably disappointed. Well, welcome back. We appreciate you still tuning in. Colby, $2 super chat. Should Grayson Halton, defensive lineman from Oklahoma, be getting more hype? I do like Grayson Halton. I think he's a little limited. I think he's probably a rotational defensive lineman at best in the NFL. Yeah. He's a little undersized. He's more of a splash play guy. So to what you're talking about, Colby, you've probably seen him get some quick tackles for loss, some quick pressures into the backfield. But in general, when it comes to play-by-play run defense and just overall ability on the defensive line, he's a little bit undersized and a tweener in that regard. So I think he's just more of a rotational guy as a whole, but I could see the flash plays from him. Daniel, $5. The current Raiders coaches could make the 2010 Cowboys O-line look like high schoolers. Wow.
That was a damn good offensive line. Jack Mack, thank you for the super chat. Tyler Cook's last name.
All right, let's. That one got me. Keep going.
Thank you for the super chat. Have either of you guys commented on Jordan Tyson's injury history? Shout out to the piss poor Raiders for passing on Membu for Genti, you nincompoops.
Nincompoops, underrated insult.
Really good insult.
Yeah.
So I think we talked a lot about Tyson's injuries on summer scouting.
Yeah.
We haven't this year, but
he's missed some time again.
It is going to be a very, very big thing. It's the type of thing where Tyson's probably a top 10 talent that if teams have enough concern medically, you could be looking at him falling to the middle or the end of the first round.
Yeah. Oh, what a steal teams would be getting.
But availability, man.
No, for sure. And availability is going to be a theme of sort of what we're talking about and how we build the Raiders moving forward. We'll stop it here with Peter, as we always do. He said, I did play high school football, LOL. Won a state championship.
Whoa.
Also tore my ACL. I'm a multi-sport athlete. I know you love those. You know who else loves those? Pete Carroll. Topical, baby.
Yeah.
Topical. He said he gave up on athletics, became a degenerate gambler, and a sex addict.
Imagine reading that to like somebody that does not watch this show.
Oh, you mean the 900 people that are currently watching who don't get that the OG fans of this show call themselves sex addicts because NFL SE, get it, folks? Just making sure that I explain that appropriately to everybody out
Why'd
there.
you give up athletics? Well, I became a degenerate gambler and a sex addict.
Sounds awesome, brother. Let's look at the draft history.
There's some good nights. There's definitely some good nights in there.
Let's take a look at the draft history here. We already kind of talked about 2025. I said 10 of those guys are the 11 players that they drafted still on the roster. They're just not playing. So I don't know if they were worth it or not. I'm so surprised that Jack Besh has not been more involved in this offense. Deontay Thornton, they tried to get him involved right away as their vertical threat, but he is not the route runner they need him to be. I don't think Jack Besh quite is either, but I still felt as though with Jacoby Myers out and Brock Bowers hurt, he would have got more action than he has. Darian Porter will come along as an outside corner. You need those two offensive linemen to really step up, though. Caleb Rogers, Charles Grant, somebody has got to be a future starter at one of those positions. In 2024, took Brock Bowers in the first round, hell of a pick. Jackson Powers-Johnson in the second round, love that one. Now, he's been hurt. Okay, like he's had injuries over the last couple of years. You mentioned availability, not ideal for him. He's also playing guard. Why is he playing guard?
They don't like him at center for
Put
some
him at
reason
center.
we don't see.
Put him at center. DJ Glaze in the third round. Glaze is still their starting offensive tackle, and he's fine. Like, I think he could be serviceable for you, but that was kind of the impact that they had from that draft in 2024. 2023, as you guys can see, our draft grades as well at the bottom. I haven't been reading those off, but this 2023 draft class, I gave it a C+ because I was way lower on Tyree Wilson than it felt like everybody was.
You were right on about that one.
Just I get it, man. The physical traits are there, but you gotta play translatable football, and I just did not feel like I really saw that at all with him when he was at Texas Tech. Michael Mayer, good player, now obviously tight end too.
He is a good. That is one little positive on this show today. Michael Mayer is becoming who we thought he would be.
Yeah,
I think he's
a good player. I think he's a good player.
Trey Tucker has his moments.
Yep, I think he has his moments. Jacorian Bennett was. Where's Jacorian Bennett now?
Didn't they trade him? Very random trade.
Yeah, but I thought he was very up and down,
Eagles.
but I felt like he was okay.
Well, yeah, I thought it was surprising when they traded him.
Yeah.
This summer, they traded him for Thomas Booker.
Huh.
But he has been out all year or most of the year with a pectoral injury, but he's been moved back to the active roster as of a week ago.
Aiden O'Connell in the fourth round, of course. In 2022, Dylan Parham, who I think is a serviceable offensive guard in the NFL. He's a free agent. We'll get to free agents in a second. Zamir White, fourth round. Like, okay. It's not ideal that they weren't picking in the first two rounds there, but, you know.
The Byron Young mistake.
What do you mean the Byron Young mistake? Oh, picking the wrong one?
The internet rumor that they took the wrong Byron Young, which they obviously did not. I mean, they did. But...
hold on. What do you mean they did? They did take the wrong Byron Young.
But they knew who they were taking.
You don't know that? Hold on. Was
yes,
Byron
they
Young
did.
Was Byron Young picked after him?
I think so, and he is awesome for the Rams. The other Byron Young.
Yeah. He was
the edge rusher.
He was picked 7 spots
later
after him. Yeah.
And he's a stud.
I also had Byron Young as a top 50 player in that class.
I don't remember where I had him, but I feel like we were higher on him than where he went.
I agree.
We talked about him
we both
all
were.
the time.
Yeah.
And he, the Byron Young. I was just laughing at the comment that said, "Don't forget the Byron Young mistake."
Amon in the chat saying Tyree's not a bust. Stop it. I think Tyree's been better here at the back half of his rookie contract, but yeah, I think he is.
Listen, if he's not,
he's not worth the 7th overall pick.
No, he's not. That's the problem.
Again, like we don't. The bust word is just thrown around there like way too much. I don't like using it, to be honest with you, but I was not super high on Tyree. He has not been super productive for them. If he was, he would be unquestioned the guy who is opposite Max Crosby and you feel great about. And it's just, he's not.
Do you think when the Raiders go to play one of the two teams in Los Angeles that the Byron Youngs get dinner together?
I hope so. They both put down the credit card, because they're like, oh, no, let's split it. Yeah, sure. And they're just like, the waitress is just like, oh, excuse me, Byron Young. And they're like, just like a sitcom.
I remember at the Senior Bowl that year, I feel bad, I forget who, but the defensive line coach or trainer for the draft that had both of them. So I asked him, I said, what do you call them? And he said, I just call one of them Byron and I call the other one B2.
Wait, which one's B2? There's like a name depth chart. You know how Deion Sanders says he has a depth chart for his favorite kid?
Yeah.
For coaches, it's which one's your favorite.
I thought that was great, though. I was like, it makes sense. As long as he's not insulted by being B2.
2021 class is the last one that we're looking at here. Just because there's only 2 players left on this one. Well, actually only 1 player. Because Alex Leatherwood, obviously not on the Raiders anymore. Trayvon Merrick, they didn't re-sign. Now he's in Carolina.
Who's a rock solid player.
He's awesome. No. There are 2 specific players that they let walk that they regret heavily. He's one of them. Robert Spillane's the other one. Malcolm Kuntz, who is still on the roster, but he tore his ACL. He came back on a 1-year deal. He just hasn't been the same player, unfortunately. Divine Diablo is not there anymore either. Nate Hobbs isn't there. He's now in Green Bay.
I mean, what a nightmare. You got
100%.
You got 2 good players in this draft. You let one walk in free agency, and the other has medically declined for now. And your first round pick was the problem with the Raiders is like when you go so far off the board like they had in 2020 and 2021, and you were wrong. You can't go so far off the consensus and be dead wrong.
Yeah, what was
Leatherwood?
Who was in that? What were the offensive tackles in that draft? Wasn't Darisaw in that draft?
Yeah, he probably went like a pick after this.
Hold on. Leatherwood went 17, and the offensive tackle that was picked directly after him at pick number 23, Christian Darisaw. Not
nice.
Great. Yeah, that's admittedly not great. Who else? Okay, it was Tevin Jenkins after that. Not a big deal. Liam Eichenberg, Walker Little. I mean, that's okay. You missed on Darisaw, though. That's bad.
Walker Little, better than Leatherwood.
Well, yeah, unfortunately. Yeah, that's a low bar, unfortunately, but yeah. Okay, so that's the draft history. Let's talk about head coach candidates before we get into the roster, because I know you want to talk about Max Crosby and sort of building that bad boy out. We are both on the same page. I think we would like to move on from Pete Carroll. As long as Mark Davis has the money, you got to move on. These are the head coaches that I have as potential head coaches specifically for the Raiders situation. Brian Flores, who is the defense coordinator of the Minnesota Vikings. You have Clint Kubiak, who's the offensive coordinator for the Seattle Seahawks. Joe Brady, offensive coordinator of the Buffalo Bills. Chris Shula, the defensive coordinator for the Los Angeles Rams. Jesse Minter, the DC for the Chargers. Anthony Campanile for the defensive tackle. He'd go out there and play defensive tackle. Defensive coordinator for the Jacksonville Jaguars. Calvin Shepard, the DC for the Lions, and then Adam Stenavich, the offensive coordinator for the Green Bay Packers. Connor, any of those names or any others that stand out to you, would love for you guys to hear, or would love to hear from you guys on who you think should be the next head coach.
Yeah, B-Flow. Brian Flores all the way in this spot. If he has the right offensive coordinator paired with him, do you think Josh McCown is ready and he goes with him over there? Is there another name that he likes? If you don't feel he has the right offensive coordinator paired with him, then maybe you roll the dice on Kubiak if you think he can grow into the head coaching role because you're confident enough in his offensive scheme while developing a young quarterback.
You know who I really love? The dude who's pictured there.
Chris Shula.
I love Chris Shula.
Yeah, dude. He's been with McVay since 2017. He's been with the Rams since 2017.
And the thing is, like, he is him and McVay went to college together. Yeah. They were teammates at Miami of Ohio. They've known each other for a long time. This is what Jay Glazer had to say about Chris Shula a while ago. He said, quote, "I'll tell you this, of all of the coaches that Sean McVay has kind of pushed along to be new head coaches, he's done more with Chris Shula than any of them combined. These two guys are best friends. They went to college together. McVay thinks he is going to be a star." I love what he has done on the defensive side of things for the Los Angeles Rams. I'd always be a little bit wary of anybody outside of a major coaching tree, somebody under Kyle Shanahan going somewhere else. Well, then they don't have Kyle Shanahan to help them out, right? Sean McVay, okay, this guy goes somewhere else, and then they don't have Sean McVay to help them if they have questions. I always get a little bit wary of that, but man, it seems like this dude who is going to be, how old is he going to be? He's 39 now. I think he's 38 now. Maybe he's turning 39, somewhere around 40, just under 40. I think that he's got the potential to be an absolute stud, man. And if you're talking about truly investing, like what we talked about, resetting, having a long-term plan, building this thing the right way, I'd give this dude a shot. I would absolutely have this guy on the interview list, and I would seriously consider him to be the head coach next year.
He's going to get looks. He's definitely picking up a lot of steam over the last month. Castro Raider in the comments said Chris Shula with Brian Dable as offensive coordinator.
Maybe we are drafting Lenore Sellers, just battering Ram QB power the whole time. I would be. So you like Brian Flores?
I like Flores. I also think Flores is another guy that'd be able to manage Dable. Dable's an explosive personality.
Mm-hmm.
Flores with McCown or Dable. He needs an offensive coordinator that has a presence. But I think Flores is the best head coach candidate. Where Shula, there's more risk, but obviously a lot of upside.
Yeah, a ton of upside there. I honestly think that Shula would be my favorite. So you like Brian Flores?
How about this?
Yeah.
And I actually, if you want to go the Shula route, here's another option I could pitch as offensive coordinator. And it would be a promotion because he'd get to call plays technically. Can he bring Michael LaFleur with him from the Rams? Now, LaFleur has an OC title with the Rams.
Yeah.
But McVay gets all the credit, right? Like, there's no way around it. And I think LaFleur is doing a lot of really good things there.
And McVay calls the plays.
So,
right?
I would, yeah. Yes.
Yeah, because LaFleur's not calling plays.
I would think no. I don't know why Sean McVay would ever not be calling plays.
Right. So, Shula would handle the defense side of things, and then the promotion that you could offer LaFleur is that he would then get to call plays if he's with the Raiders.
Yeah. So that's an interesting tandem that is very realistic in my opinion.
I kind of like that the best, man. I kind of do.
So Shula bringing over Mike LaFleur.
Yeah.
As his play caller.
Or Matt LaFleur if he gets fired, No,
I mean, seriously, though.
No, if he gets fired, he's getting a head coach job immediately.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree.
I mean, without question.
I thought Mike LaFleur was actually a good play caller with the Jets. Just the Zach Wilson draft and experiment and development was nuclear. That he was the fall guy. Woody made Saleh fire him. Saleh never wanted to fire Mike LaFleur, and that's why Sean McVay hired him immediately. So Shula and LaFleur.
I like that. Let's move forward with that if you're okay with that. I love it. Yep. Okay, so then let's get into the roster. So now that we have John Spytek as the general manager still, we've got Chris Shula as our head coach, we got Mike LaFleur as our offense coordinator. Don't know who the defense coordinator is going to be. You'll figure it out. The projected starting lineup here. Quarterback, I have a question mark. It could be Geno, still under contract next year.
It's Geno's structure.
Feels like it wouldn't be because you have the ability to, if you cut him, you save $8 million on the cap at any time.
Oh, man. Yeah, you don't love the 18.5 dead money.
No, but you save at least 8, off of what it would be total to keep him.
Okay, so we need to figure this out. Are we drafting a quarterback? Because honestly, if you are, is Geno not a bridge guy? He's the definition of a bridge guy.
Well, not this year he's not. He can't stop turning the damn ball over.
I agree, but the offense is pathetic.
And
he's part of that.
I don't disagree with you, but if he leads the league in interceptions or turnover-worthy plays by the time we get to the end of the year, you can't bring him back.
Yeah.
It's
just a big dead cap hit to replace him with somebody that we don't know if they'll be better.
No, I hear you. I hear you. somebody actually said in the chat, do you trade for Trevor Lawrence? I don't think Trevor Lawrence is getting traded, but I do think that Kyler Murray's on the trade block. So you could think about that, but it's not like the Arizona Cardinals are going to take Geno Smith. So
no,
you would have to have his dead cap, and then you're taking on Kyler's contract.
Yeah, it's a
and
lot
you're
of
also
money in
trading-
in not great quarterbacks.
Right. A lot of people are saying wait till 2027.
Yeah, that's what
So
everybody thinking.
Alfie addressed the elephant in the room, man. The best quarterback on the Raiders right now is in the owner's box.
It's true.
I haven't read the current collective bargaining agreement. I don't know if there's anything to a guy being the starting quarterback and also the owner of the team. I would assume that you can't do it.
While calling the game.
I assume. While in the pre-broadcast meetings with the other team's head coaches, learning about what they do, what they don't do well.
Incredible.
Insider trading at its best. I don't know, man. And the chat seems to be more towards waiting until 2027 to address quarterback.
Then you're riding it out with Geno.
That's just the toughest part. Again,
I know.
If he leads the league in turnovers, how do you bring him back?
Because it's really because of the money. It's not because of the player. Like, do we want to pay you $18.5 million to not play for us, or do we want to? But we save $8 million. This is where, you know what's tough, Trevor? A lot of the guys that make sense as bridge guys that take care of the ball better than Geno are not free agents. Mac Jones is not a free agent. Jacoby Brissett is not a free agent.
No.
Daniel
Jones is the only free agentable quarterback. Right.
And there is no world where Shane Steichen loses Daniel Jones. World.
It would be, unless he...
Daniel Jones would probably come back for a pay cut. It's the best he's ever looked.
To stay with them instead of going to the Raiders.
He chose to go there when he could have went to the Vikings. Back to the Vikings.
Right.
Because he knew he could start there and succeed under Steichen. And he was right. Daniel Jones was right. So.
Okay, let's stick with Geno then.
Oh, man. I don't like it as much as you. It's like, ugh, but what are we going to do?
So if we stick with Geno at quarterback, then we've got Ashton Genty at running back. We don't have wide receiver 1 on the roster. I think Trey Tucker is a really nice complimentary wide receiver, but outside of him, like you said, they signed Tyler Lockett, and they're giving Tyler Lockett legitimate looks at this point.
Yeah, they need to give the other guys burn.
Right. Brock Bowers on there. It should be Brock Bowers / Jack Besh. I think he should absolutely be in this conversation as well. I feel as though between Trey Tucker, Jack Besh, and Deontay Thornton, they have their wide receiver 2, 3, and 4. I still think they don't have that wide receiver 1.
Well, their wide receiver 1 is Brock Bowers.
So you can pseudo say that he is the guy who is good there. But that's sort of how I view the wide receiver room. Colt Miller starting at offensive tackle. I don't know who's starting at the other offensive tackle. DJ Glaze is still under his rookie contract going into next season. And so I think he is the guy unless you upgrade. That's why I have it sort of in parentheses there. Jordan Meredith and Dylan Parham are free agents. So I moved Jackson Powers Johnson back to center for them. And then they still have Alex Kappa, but Alex Kappa hasn't been good.
Right.
So do you agree with how we've set this up here?
Yeah.
Okay.
And this is why it's a full rebuild.
So going down to the defensive side of things, we have Max Crosby. Tyree Wilson is under his rookie contract, so I assume he will be in some sort of mix for that edge 2 spot. Adam Butler, Tonka Hemingway, which, by the way, we didn't bring up and talk about enough, how bad the Christian Watson situation screwed them over. Yeah. He was supposed to be a major part of what that defensive line was going to do. Yeah, what did I say? Watson?
Sorry, the receiver on the Packers. He's sitting there like the pointing guy.
Christian Watson listening to this video wait, what? How did I screw him over? No,
I just caught 2 touchdowns. It's not my fault.
Christian Wilkins, yes. Well, and he was supposed to be a building block for this team, and obviously he's not even there anymore. Linebacker, Landon Roberts is a free agent, but he's probably done enough to come back. I think that he's been solid enough. He's not who you want as your LB1. I don't think Devin White is either, who is a free agent. I don't think Jamal Adams is either, who's that converted safety linebacker hybrid, which if you get rid of Pete Carroll, I'm not so sure that Jamal Adams has a place doing that in whatever the next regime is. Maybe they do, but
no.
I think linebacker is a major issue for this team. They need a CB1 as much as I like Darian Porter. I think he's probably more of a CB2. They have Jeremy Chin to play in the slot, who I think has been fine. And then I think they need major safety work. Them
It's
not
the whole defense.
Well, and that's going back to what I said. Like Robert
right.
Spillane and Trayvon Merrick walking last year, and they didn't replace them. They didn't replace either of those guys. They're like, nah, we're good. Now, I don't remember their cap space. Maybe they would have been tight on it, couldn't really make it happen. But it sucks to go watch those guys be really damn good for their new teams, and you got one of the worst defenses in the NFL. Not ideal.
No.
So you want to have the Max Crosby conversation. Let's talk about it. I don't think they're trading him, because I think that if it was ever up in the air that they would, he wouldn't be on the team anymore. They would have gotten rid of him already. But you want to make a case that the time could be now to trade him. Yes?
If not now, it's not happening. If it has to happen this offseason. And if you want to hit on maximum value. Credit to Max Crosby. He's just one of those dudes that's like, I want to be here when things turn around. I want to be a part of the turnaround. He plays his ass off every single snap till the clock hits 0. I give him a lot of credit. Everybody wishes there was so many more guys in the NFL that had that mentality for these basement franchises. The problem is Max Crosby is in his age 28 season.
Mm-hmm.
He'll turn 29 before next season. He's still a great player. Do we think, Trevor, the Raiders are going to be good before Max Crosby's prime ends? I don't.
I think there's a chance the Raiders are good in 2 years if they have 2 really good off seasons. But the problem then is that like you're still in a division with the Chargers, the Chiefs, and the Broncos. So you have to really nail it. Your margin for error is pretty small. So I understand the point that you're bringing up, because I agree with the theory is why would you pay a guy a lot of money and ruin his value that you could get on the trade market if he's not actually going to impact you when it matters, when you're in a winning window. And I totally get that, because I think somebody would trade 2 first-round picks for Max Crosby.
That's the thing now.
Yeah.
Right? Like a soon-to-be 28-year-old Quinnen Williams just brought back a 2027 first and a probably top 50 pick in 2026.
Mm-hmm.
So I would think Max gets the 2 1s. He's an edge rusher.
Max gets 2 1s. Yep.
It stinks, right? Like heart and soul guy, everything you ever want in a player.
Yep.
The timelines just don't align. They don't align. Now, if he really just will not accept a trade, then it is what it is. And once again, like I tip my cap to him. But if he is willing to entertain a trade this offseason for 2 1s, say it's the Bills, whoever you want it to be. There's a lot of contending teams that would love to have Max Crosby. Then if I was rebuilding this team, I'd make the tough decision of taking the 2 1s over having Max Crosby, because my timeline for this team to be good again does not align with Max's prime. And that's a damn shame.
Mm-hmm. I do agree with you. You know what I think that we should do?
One with him and one without him.
I don't think that it's likely that he is gone.
But
I think that we should do a mock draft. One of our mock drafts should be with Max Crosby gone.
Sure. Perfect.
Just to see what it looks like, to really finish the exercise. But let's go into free agency then. So let's talk about free agency, because
a lot of money.
That's sort of the lineup there. Well, team needs, identifying some team needs before we hit free agency.
Yeah.
QB1 of the future. We're bringing back Geno, but QB1 of the future. Wide receiver 1. Offensive tackle 2, opposite Colton Miller. Offensive guard 1, and in theory 2, but I think you could bring back Dylan Parham and be okay there. Edge 1, if you're, well, it should say edge 2. So edge 1 if you're moving on from Max Crosby, edge 2 if not. Linebacker 1, corner 1, and then safety 1. I think you need all of those. Too many ones, Connor. Too many ones.
A lot.
They have 79.4 million in effective cap space, which is the third most in the NFL right now going into the 2026 offseason. However, they only have 31 players under contract for 2026. That is the least amount of anyone in the league right now. I thought that it was the Commanders. We did the Commanders episode on Monday. I thought they had the least amount. It's actually the Raiders who have the least amount, and then the Commanders are next with 34. These are the players who are, I mentioned Geno Smith. If they cut him, they save $8 million. They've got 18.5 on as a dead cap, but they save $8 million of it. Alex Kappa, if they wanted to cut him, he's going into the last year of his deal. He hasn't been great for him. You could save $5 million if you really wanted to do that. But if you think he's going to be serviceable for you, you probably keep him around because you want the offensive line to be as good as possible. Free agents. Malcolm Kuntz is a free agent. I have as an asterisk guys that I would bring back. Eric Stokes I'd bring back just because you need corner depth, and I think he's having a decent year with him being healthy. Landon Roberts, I think you bring him back because he's been decent. Dylan Parham, I think you bring him back because he can be a serviceable guard for you. Jamal Adams, I don't think you bring him back. Tyler Lockett, Lonnie Johnson Jr., Devin White, Zamir White, Kenny Pickett. And then Caillou Blue-Kelly, their corner, is a restricted free agent. And then center Jordan Meredith, I guess he is still going to be on the team. I forgot he's a restricted free agent, not an unrestricted free agent. So he'll still be in that mix. But Connor, I'd bring back Eric Stokes for depth, Landon Roberts to maybe start as your LB2, Dylan Parham to maybe start a guard for you. And that's it. I'd let Kuntz walk after the 1-year deal. He's just not that same player after the ACL. What do you think?
I think the question is, do they think Kuntz just needs time? Like, is there medical information? Maybe. Hey, coming off the ACL, this happens to a lot of guys, especially guys where explosion matters so much. Does he want to stay for a year and reestablish his value as a, he's 27. So I'm not closing the door on Kuntz because I know what he could be when he's right, but they know more medically about him than us.
With a restricted free agent, I pulled up the exact definition so I could read that off to you guys because somebody's asking what's a restricted free agent. A player with 3 accrued seasons, and an expired contract. RFAs are free to negotiate and sign with any team, but their original team can offer them one of various qualifying offers, or tenders is what they are commonly called, that come with the rights of first refusal and or draft pick compensation. So basically, somebody who is an RFA can negotiate with another team, but if they come to an agreement with that other team, if they're tendered, then that means that the team that they are leaving gets a draft pick back for the other team to sign them, so the other team will give them a draft pick, or they get the ability to match the offer. So restricted means that you basically have an option to save yourself from this player going somewhere else via either draft pick compensation or matching the contract that you think that you can get elsewhere. So that is a restricted free agent, just so you guys know that part. So let's get into the free agents that they could potentially target. Okay. This is the list that I came up with. Obviously, with only 31 players under contract, they'd have to sign a crap ton of guys.
Right.
But these are the high impact guys that I feel like they could go after here. First one, Tyler Linderbaum. If you can get Tyler Linderbaum, go freaking do it. I put Jackson Powers Johnson at guard at that point.
Right, yeah.
I don't care. You're great with that. The thoughts with Linderbaum, yes, it's most likely that he's going back to the Ravens. However, the current situation is that they declined his 5th-year option because when you talk about 5th-year options for offensive linemen are all lumped together. So it's not that he's getting 5th-year option money based on just centers. He's getting 5th-year option money based on all offensive linemen, including offensive tackles who make a lot of money. So you would have had to pay him a ton of money on that 5th-year option. So the Raiders chose not to do that. So technically he is a free agent coming up this offseason. They'll probably need to make him the highest paid center in the NFL to bring him back. And before they do that, they have to work out Lamar Jackson's contract because Lamar, his salary cap balloons up to $74 million next year. So they have to figure out if they're restructuring or re-signing him to make sure that they're good there before they sign Tyler Linderbaum. All of that can happen, but he is still out there and available. So if they have the opportunity to go get Tyler Linderbaum, that is extremely ideal to me because then you would have a really solid interior offensive line that you feel really good about. I got George Pickens on this list. If he ends up really hitting free agency and can move elsewhere, I think he'd be a great wide receiver 1 for this team. Devin Lloyd, we've mentioned on basically every fixture franchise. If he could be a great linebacker 1 for them, I love that. These two are the two that I think I like the most here. Boye Mafe or Odafe Owe.
Right.
I like these two dudes, especially if you still have Max Crosby, because Owe, sneaky, Connor, 17th in pass rush win percentage this season, 17.6 pass rush win percentage. And Boye Mafe's got a 13.1 pressure percentage. And I don't think Seattle can afford to bring him back. He was a trade deadline candidate because they got some big contracts.
They have a lot of guys.
Yeah. So I like them bringing in some, not re-signing Malcolm Kuntz and maybe bringing in one of these guys instead.
Yeah, one of these guys is absolutely. I think Mafe would probably be the player in this
I like
spot.
either of them, to be honest.
I mean,
with
it's
you.
hard
I
to.
really do.
I could make an argument. Hey, so we're going by if they kept Crosby.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because Mafe, big-bodied edge defender. I think he was pretty good against the run last year. I know they've been much more pass rush focused this year. They've created a lot of chaos. So. Yeah, I'm with you all the way. One of those guys has to be signed in this spot. And it's realistic.
If you have an opportunity to sign one of Braden Smith or Rasheed Walker, I feel like would like those moves. My preference would be Braden Smith because of how much he has started for the Indianapolis Colts throughout his career.
I know. You always wonder, he took a pay cut to stay. It's very weird.
Yeah, because he was dealing with something last year.
Yeah.
Though.
Yep.
So, I mean, it was sort of a situation where they worked with him, and he's hitting free agency now. But him opposite Colt Miller, I think you could feel pretty decent about that.
Yes,
so
this is the kind of move they need to make.
Right? Yeah. So if they have the opportunity to go get him, I would go for that. I really would. Quentin Lake, I think, would be excellent for this team. He is having a really good year. 2 interceptions this season, and those are the first 2 of his career. But the forced incompletions for him.
Yep.
Have been consistent. He has consistently been somebody who's been able to get his hands on the ball and affect the ball. And especially if Chris Shula's coming over as head coach, he knows how to use Quentin Lake because he's having a great year under Chris Shula.
The Rams safety play is eye-opening.
Dude, so good.
Eye-opening. What they did to Seattle's offense. Great call on Quentin Lake. And you always like the player that comes with the coach from his unit.
Yep.
Like we did with Spags and Chanel to the Giants.
Right, exactly. A lot of people in the chat are talking about Reek Woolen as well as a potential option for them. I don't mind it. I've never been the biggest Reek Woolen guy because I think he's really high variance, even for a position that is naturally high variance. So I'm just not the biggest Reek Woolen guy, but I think that you guys out there are obviously making a claim because it's impressive when a player with his size and athletic ability is playing well. He could potentially be a CB1 for you at times. I just don't love the consistency there from him. So of these guys, we've got a lot of money to spend. Let's pick a couple that we're bringing on the team. You want Braden Smith to be one of them, and then either Boye Mafe or Odafe Owe? I think those two are.
Yeah, I vote Boye Mafe.
Okay, sure. We're bringing in Mafe. We're bringing in Braden Smith, and I say Quentin Lake too.
Quentin Lake is it's such an obvious fit. With the coaching hires we made.
Colin said they have Reek Woolen at home with Darian Porter. Kinda.
Wow, it's not crazy.
Kinda. Jalen Phillips is somebody that I thought about here. But if you're building a team for the long term, are you going to take a chance on somebody who's been hurt?
It feels like Philly just finds a way.
And I thought the same with Elijah Vera Tucker, too. Vera Tucker, I think in theory, would love him for this team. Love him.
He's just hurt a lot.
But he's hurt. So if you're really just rebuilding, are you really going to take a player that's just been hurt a bunch? I don't know if you are.
Mafe, Braden Smith, Quentin Lake, I think written in pen.
Okay. All right.
I would love for them to make an aggressive play for Linderbaum. You drafted Genty, and now you're trying to rebuild this offensive line on the interior.
Ooh, Alante Taylor, Chris mentioned in the chat. I don't hate Alante Taylor, but Alante is a little bit more of like an inside-out sort of slot guy. I think Jeremy Chin does that pretty well for them right now. I guess it kind of depends on what their defensive structure would be. If you like the idea of like Chin and Lake as the safeties back there, then you could maybe go get Alante Taylor and he could play like the inside-out slot for you. I don't mind that. But I like Jeremy Chin when he's a little bit more in the box. And Quentin Lake also plays some nickel too. I like those three that we have. Is there anybody else that you want to throw out there? Because I'm saying Cordell Flott. No, again, Flott's more of a slot for me, and I think they got slot handled right now.
Good call from Zach in the chat. They can maybe get. Well, it's funny because they actually drafted John Simpson and cut him.
Oh,
which is kind of different regime.
Times have changed. Hey, I got Khalil Mack on this list.
Of course, there you go.
Come home, Khalil.
They should be looking at the guard the Jets don't bring back.
That's actually a good point too.
But it's weird because it is funny. Simpson was a draft, not bust for them because he was a 4th round pick, but he didn't work out at all there. Figured it out in Baltimore, got even better with the Jets, and now he's going to hit free agency. Player development, man, especially on the interior of the offensive line.
I don't mind Parham. If you're signing Braden Smith to offensive tackle, does Glaze then kick in a guard to help you out a little bit
maybe they don't
there?
have to spend on a guard.
They probably then have Meredith and Jackson Powers Johnson at that point. So then your offensive line without Linderbaum would be Colton Miller, Dylan Parham, Jackson Powers Johnson, DJ Glaze, Braden Smith.
Pre-draft.
And then the defense would be Max Crosby, maybe.
Boye
Mafe. You got Hemingway and Butler in the middle. Still no linebacker. Quentin Lakes at safety. You get Darian Porter at corner. One of the others, I guess Isaiah Polamalu would still be the other safety.
I got an idea at linebacker.
Okay.
I mean, this team, you watch the defense, they are so freaking slow. Go get Quincy Williams for the middle of your defense. He's one of the fastest linebackers in football.
Oh, yeah. Is he a free agent?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I like that.
This team
because he's actually a traditional linebacker.
Yeah. This defense, man, watching them against Dallas, it felt like watching them in slow motion trying to tackle people.
Yeah, let's do that. I like that.
And Quincy's going to hit free agency.
Yep.
So look how much better the defense looks with Boye Mafe, Quentin Lake. We got a player at each level of the defense.
Mm-hmm.
Boye Mafe, Quincy Williams, Quentin Lake.
Yep. Yeah, I like that. I like that there. Somebody's saying, Jordo's saying Nate Landman to steal another Ram. Is he a free agent?
I'm not sure.
Because, I mean, I don't hate that one, but I like Quincy Williams. I really do.
It's because of the team's speed.
Yeah, I like that. I like Quincy Williams. Let's go Quincy Williams there. A lot of people are saying no Parham. I like Parham, but hey, if you guys want to say
he is a very finesse. I do think I agree with their general point. Like they need to be a mauling, like a drive blocking kind of line.
So
I don't see Parham as that guy.
So then do you want to say?
Let me look at the guard market real quick.
Like Wyatt Teller's out there.
Wyatt Teller.
You'll have maybe John Simpson.
Right.
I don't mind Teller if Teller's leaving.
Yep.
So if John Simpson gets out, we could go with him. And if not, maybe we go with Wyatt Teller. Does that sound good?
That makes sense.
Okay. All right. Okay. So we won't resign. Let's not resign Parham then. Let's give the people their voice here, and we'll go with one of Wyatt Teller or John Simpson as one of the starting guards. You got Jackson Powers Johnson at center. You got DJ Glaze at guard. Braden Smith's at right tackle. Colton Miller's at left tackle. Then on defense, it's Max Crosby, Boye Mafe, Tyree Wilson, Tonka Hemingway, Adam Butler in the middle, Quincy Williams, Elena Roberts at their linebacker spots. Darian Porter's one corner. I don't know who the next corner is. We'll probably need to draft one. Jeremy Chin's the nickel. Quentin Lake at safety. Isaiah Polamalu at safety. Okay, I don't mind that. I think we're doing a lot there at free agency.
Yeah,
because you're not going to be able to fix it in one sweep. So
filling holes. Yeah,
we are. Let's fire it up. Let's fire up the mock draft simulator then. Let's do it. It's draft, baby. It's time. For the Las Vegas Raiders, they have a first-round pick, a second-round pick, a third-round pick, 2 fourth-round picks because of the Jacoby Myers trade. Obviously, we won't be doing that here in this episode, but no fifth-round pick due to the Kenny Pickett trade. 2 sixth-round picks and a seventh-round pick. So we got a lot to work with here for the Las Vegas Raiders. By the way, guys, if you don't have a PFF Plus subscription, now's a great time to get one because you can run as many mock drafts you want. If you use a promo code Black Friday, get you 40% off a PFF Plus subscription. So make sure that you guys go out and do that if you don't have one already. The Raiders are currently picking 6th overall. We're here in the first round. 3-round mock, obviously. So what we're going to do here is we're going to have one mock where Max Crosby's on the team. And then we're going to have another mock where we're trading away Max Crosby for at least an extra first rounder this year. Connor, we got number 6 overall. We've simulated Ruben Bain, Arvell Reese, Ty Simpson, Fernando Mendoza, and Jordan Tyson are off the board. I think that that's very realistic for those 5 names to be off the board, maybe in a different order, but that's the way that we have it right there. Caleb Downs?
I know.
Or Peter Woods?
Yep. And both are needs.
Dude. Quentin Lake.
Hear me out.
Yeah?
Jeremiah Love.
Why don't you suggest Kenyon Sadiq at that rate?
Oh, man. That would have been great for you to do.
Those of you who might be watching this for the one-off, we already discussed this inside joke that we did for the full Fix Your Franchise episode for the Las Vegas Raiders, which you guys can see on the YouTube channel. But obviously making fun of me for saying that the Raiders could have potentially taken Tyler Warren last year and had the greatest tight end duo of all time.
Alfie goes, Trev likes the look of Kenyon Sadiq.
That's it! Can never have too many good football players. No, but seriously.
The duality of man. HM Yiz said, I'd go Peter Woods. 2 comments later, Corn Doggy, do not draft Peter Woods.
Let's see.
I like Caleb Downs.
I do too. I mean, he's just
I think there's an argument he's the best player in the draft.
I do too, and especially with Chris Shula as our head coach. Quentin Lake, the way that Lake has played, having Jeremy Chin, you got Quincy Williams, got a Landon Roberts. Like, that's just such a really unique defensive talent that you could play with. And Caleb Downs, he's one of the best players in this whole class.
I did a tape breakdown on him for NBC this week, which it's crazy it took me this long, but I was like, let's press the Caleb Downs button. To watch him through the course of the year make blow up screens and runs downhill, cover tight ends one-on-one 40 yards down the field, and he's in better position for the ball than the tight end.
Yep.
And then play single high safety.
Yep.
And pounce on a route, tip a ball for a layup pick for his teammate. I'm like, I don't know. And he's also one of the most physical football players in all of college football. On top of being, I think, one of the smartest defenders I've ever evaluated.
Yep.
He is. I'm telling you, when people are like, "Well," like when people start doing can you take a safety in the top 10 all spring? I'm going to turn into the Joker.
Well, you guys gotta because I see this in the chat and it makes sense, and this is a really good time to bring this up. The positional value conversation obviously matters when you're talking in a vacuum. You do not want to generally go away from what are higher positional value players when it comes to your premium picks. It's quarterbacks, it's offensive tackles, it's pass rushers, right? Like those are, and sometimes, like difference making, like a shutdown corner, a true CB1, or a star wide receiver. I'd say those are the premium value pick players that you would consider taking in the top 10 because those picks have the most value. However, you have to be able to also look at a football player and just know that this guy's different. And you don't want to make a habit of this, but I really do think that Caleb Downs is in the conversation with Kyle Hamilton, Antoine Winfield Jr., like that, like those types of players. We're talking like defensive player of the year caliber type of guys. If I didn't think that he was at that level, I wouldn't have this conversation, but I do think that he's that kind of a football player. I would take Caleb Downs here.
I'm with you.
Okay. Start
changing the vibe of this team. Yep. Hope that Chris Shula can be what Mike McDonald has been for Seattle.
Yep. Yeah, he says, I don't know, but somebody said, but Kyle Hamilton went like what, 14th? You are right. But would you say that Kyle Hamilton outplayed 14th overall? I certainly would.
Right.
I would certainly say that Antoine Winfield Jr. outplayed being an early second round pick. So I totally understand what you're saying, but you're not going to get Caleb Downs at 14 in this draft. You've also got to be able to evaluate the draft as it is. You're just drafting one of the best football players there.
In a draft that I don't love the blue chip talent in this draft.
Correct.
Admittedly.
Correct.
Like, let me be clear, if you're a Raiders fan listening to this, like, I can't believe we just did this because I see a lot of people saying this feels like Brock Bowers for defense. If there was a franchise offensive lineman, franchise quarterback kind of player there, I totally get it. But the way the board broke for us,
I think Towns is. I don't know, man.
Right.
I think there's a little too much hate on who Caleb Downs is as a player. I really do.
In this version, Caleb Downs is our first round pick. We are going to do 2 mock drafts.
Yeah, we are. Okay, so for this second one, this second pick here, Amari Washington, I think is a candidate because they don't really have an impact defensive tackle.
Right.
Is Christian Miller still that? God, your Jets just took Christian Miller one spot before us.
Which is very realistic.
No, it's betrayal. Is what it is.
It's the mock draft simulator has got a lot smarter over the years.
Yeah.
Caden McDonald gone too. Oh, that's a blow. That's a blow.
Yeah, would have loved one of those guys.
Hear me out.
All right.
Caleb Lomu as a tackle to eventually take the reins over.
So
for Braden Smith.
Or Cole Miller, right? Because how old's Braden Smith now?
30? He'll be 30. His age 30 season is next year.
I thought he was older than that. Is he only 30?
I think his age 30 season is next year.
He is. He's 30. And then Cole Miller's going to be 30?
Probably.
Cole Miller is 30. Okay. So around the same age. So you're getting ahead of it with offensive tackle. Some people are saying quarterback. There's not one that I would take here.
Well, yes, they need a quarterback. We need one available.
Yeah.
Do you want Garrett Nussmeier here, who was just benched?
The only one that I'd think about is Jade Mailata. I'd think about Mailata here.
Mailata's better than he gets credit for.
He is. Yep.
That's not a crazy idea at all. Are we there's no shot we get Mailata in the third here, right?
Probably not.
That feels.
Can you click your picks, Tyler? Because it'll show you the number. Man, 70.
I like Mailata here.
Yeah, I do too. I'm doing some more tape breakdown stuff, and I was going with like, okay, here's a good play, and then here's a bad play. And I was trying to go over even like the turnover worthy plays for him, and I'm like, I don't hate these. like
he plays the position extremely well.
He does.
Let's go Mailata, man.
Okay, let's do Mailata here in the second round. Okay, I like this.
Sorry to the person that I just said to take a quarterback, and I was like, one needs to be there.
And
then Mailata's staring me right in the face. You know what? You were right.
So Jake Slaughter's on the board. Max Clare, Jack Hendries. Don't need any of those guys. Maybe Dalen Everett from Georgia, depending if your scheme wants to play a lot more man coverage stuff. Right. I think he's best at that. Nicky Prongos is probably the player that I would get as a developmental.
Fits our theory last
offensive
pick that
tackle, right?
We didn't do.
Julian Neal is a bigger, taller corner who's having a good year. Jake Galday, the linebacker from Cincinnati, I think he could play like as an edge linebacker hybrid for you. CJ Fight, Daryl Jackson Jr. What's CJ? Can you click on CJ Fight really quick, Tyler?
Kind of intrigued by CJ Fight. He's a guy that the tape always impresses you more than the grades.
Yeah,
I learned this summer.
He is just he's a run stuffing dude. Like I just don't think he's going to give you really anything in pass rush.
We're in the third round.
That's true. Him just saying I would take Isaiah World as a developmental tackle. I'd take Nicky Prongos way before I'd take Isaiah World, to be honest with you.
I don't have a finality on that take yet.
I don't hate the thought process. They still need a wide receiver 1. Could we go to wide receiver? Let's see wide receiver. Let's go. Can you just show us wide receiver, offensive tackle, and defensive tackle?
I like CJ Fight here.
So you like him the most?
If you take a wide receiver in this slot, it feels like I'd rather just try to keep developing the guys I have. One didn't fall. If you want to go developmental tackle, though, between Blake Miller, Nicky Prongos, and Isaiah World, that's an interesting combo, too. I think Fight makes you a tougher team up front on defense.
Yeah, because I don't think they have a ton of depth at defensive tackle either.
No, they have nothing.
Let me remind myself of what we have here.
Matt Curran goes, Connor would rather stop the run than anything. I am obsessed with stopping the run.
They have J.J. McKees, but he's more of a one-gapping player. Tonka Hemingway's more
He's
of
a
a
fullback.
one-gapping player. Yeah, they kind of would need a CJ Fight type of a guy.
Yeah, dude, eat your vegetables.
I don't hate it. CJ Fight's the next guy there. I think I like Nicky Prongos as a player more, but... Oh, Big Citrus went 2 spots ahead of us!
That's brutal.
All right, let's take CJ Fight.
Okay.
Let's do it. So we got... This is the with Max Crosby draft here. We got Caleb Downs, Jaden Maiyava, CJ Fight. I don't mind this. I really don't. I think that Maiyava is a really nice developmental quarterback. I think he could be a starter at the NFL level with how well he plays the game and some excellent touch throws.
Why do you think nobody ever puts him in the combo with the quarterbacks?
I just don't think a lot of people talk about him.
That's what I don't understand.
People are too busy talking about Jacoby Lane and Mekhi Lemon, you know?
Yeah.
I don't know I just don't know if people are taking USC seriously enough. Maybe it's the Lincoln Riley quarterback thing. I don't know. But, I mean, obviously Lincoln Riley had Caleb Williams, so maybe that's just not even a real argument. I don't know. Not sure. New name. Maybe people just are late to getting around, but he's got some really good tape there. All right, let's fire up another draft, and let's trade. Hold on. Who's trading for him of these teams?
The
Cowboys?
No,
just kidding.
Patriots?
Oh.
Am I wrong?
Yeah, chat, let us know. Who's trading for Max Crosby here? Bears?
Maybe.
Seattle's
kind of interesting.
Yeah, but then they
generate a lot of pressure though with all their guys.
I know, and they would be taking on Max's contract, and they already have that's the Boye Mafe thing. That's how we got
New England. I think it's New England.
Yeah. Or Detroit. You think Detroit would do it?
I think Brad Holmes likes drafting because he's good. Because he's really
Max
good at
Crosby
it.
on one side,
Aiden Hutchinson with my boy Tyleek in the middle.
All right,
and Ali McNeil. Damn.
Cap space NFL. Hold on. Old reliable here. Let's see who has the most. Oh wait, no. Hold on. 2026. Let's see. Who has the Seahawks actually do have the money, but they've got a bunch of guys that they have to sign. Commanders, we just went through this with the Commanders on the Monday show. Like they can't afford to trade more draft.
They need draft capital.
Yeah, they need draft capital. Patriots have the money. Patriots can do it.
Oh yeah, they've been trying to make splash after splash.
Let's do the Patriots then. 2 first-round picks for Max Crosby. Yeah, you enter the draft, Tyler. And you guys can go over to trade. You guys can do this on your own if you have a fully unlocked PFF mock draft simulator with a PFF Plus subscription, which of course you can get for 40% off using the promo code Black Friday. You can trade players, you can trade all the picks, everything like that. So let's go down to Max Crosby, New England, first round this year, first round next year. Forced trade. No, you don't get. We're not giving him 6. Yeah.
Okay.
So now we got 6 and 30 to work with.
Okay.
All right. So who is on the board for us? Let's see. Oh, TJ Parker. We traded Max Crosby just to draft an edge? No.
I hate it. It's Jordan Tyson.
Now, okay, Jordan Tyson or Fernando.
Fernando's there.
You think?
Well,
think we're taking him at 6?
They might. It's interesting. So Ty went. Okay, but yeah, it's probably Mendoza in this spot.
Because now you got the extra draft capital to work with.
If he fell into your lap, you take the quarterback. Maybe you get a wide receiver 1 or an offensive lineman at 30.
Don't have to start him year 1.
No.
Ease him in. All right, let's take Fernando Mendoza then. Yep. Let's do that at number 6. Let's see what we got here at number 30, because we'll have 30 and then 38, I think, is what we'll have. Ooh, Casey Concepcion, Cam Miller, Jennings Dunker, the ass kicker, Caden McDonald here as well.
I would probably take Caden. I think the best. I think he's the best player for them in this spot.
So we'd have our edge rushers at this point would be Boye Mafe and Tyree Wilson, which maybe you're just saying like, hey, we're putting it all on Tyree, do or die year, and if we don't have it next year, we're drafting an edge rusher pretty high because we have an extra first-round pick. You like that thought process there? People are saying Colton Hood as well, the corner from Tennessee.
He's a really good player.
CB1. Because remember, we pick at 38, not far after this.
Yeah, you're not going to get Caden McDonald at 38. I guarantee that. Not in the simulator.
Okay, let's take Caden McDonald for the run defense, and then let's see which corners are available for us at 30.
A lot of people really want offensive line. What is the board here?
It's Jennings Dunker.
Yeah.
But is Dunker still on the board?
So take.
Oh, Colton Hood's there.
I thought that would happen.
Oh, look at you! You're a wizard.
I know the algorithm of the simulator.
Wow.
Yeah, Mike McCarthy's been crapping on our mock draft, so I've been in the lab.
Okay, all right. Let's take Colton Hood because now we potentially got 2 outside corners we feel pretty good about. Obviously, we signed Quentin Lake. We got Caden McDonald now on the inside. All right. Last pick here.
Got to get Mendoza a piece here.
Jeremy Bernard is there.
I like that a lot.
Yeah. That's real nice.
What offensive linemen are available?
Yeah, let's see offensive line.
Guys, sorry about the screen quality if you're watching live. We know it happens sometimes.
See, it's still the offensive linemen. Blake Miller, Nicky Prongos, Isaiah World, those guys are there.
I would like J.C. Davis later to play guard.
All right,
saying.
I mean, we got him in the 4th. Yeah, we could actually.
The point being, like the Raiders can get
guard.
Yeah, they can get some guards in the middle of this draft.
You want to go Jeremy Bernard?
I do.
Okay.
It just gives Mendoza. It gives Mendoza a safety blanket to grow with.
Matt Lagway, tight end 3. Get out of here, Matt. Get out of here. This is Borg said. This is how Trevor's camera.
That's amazing.
Oh, I hate you guys. I love y'all so much. Okay, let's do Jeremy Bernard as our pick here. Omar Cooper also potential there, but I like Jeremy Bernard better as a player. So we traded Max Crosby. So we got a first rounder in 2027 as well. We got Fernando Mendoza, Caden McDonald, Colton Hood, Jeremy Bernard. I mean, that is, you see the A grade there. Dude, wow. I mean, if you're moving on from Max Crosby, you feel pretty damn good about this one. So that's just a look into what it could be here for the Raiders. But ultimately, Connor, as we're kind of whipping up our like fix your franchise sort of final graphic that we have here, I think that we should keep Max on the roster because I think it's the most realistic. So,
but I like this draft so much better.
But I'm glad that we did this. I'm very glad that we did this because this gives you a look at like the people who'd be like, oh my gosh, we would never trade Max Crosby. It's like, okay.
Sure. And that's why we do multiple mock drafts, because going back to the Jets where we were like, this is what it looks like taking a quarterback this year. This is what it looks like taking a quarterback next year.
Yep.
It just gives you pimped.
Yeah. Jaden Mayava, Jack Besh. Yeah. I like this. Ain't bad, man.
Defense significantly upgraded.
Yep. I think that this is pretty nice here. Well, okay, so he's got Colton Hood in there. We don't have Colton Hood. Wait, oh no, this is the other one. He flipped it. Wow, this is all right. Pimped version 1. I didn't even know even know the chef had 2 graphics working.
Pimpin' V1 and Pimpin' V2. This is V2.
Let us know, people, which Pimp Your Franchise version do you like the most here? We got Chris Shula as our head coach, Mike LaFleur as our offensive coordinator. In the pimped version that has Max Crosby on it. We got Geno Smith / Jaden Mayava, Ashton Genty, Trey Tucker, Jack Besh, Brock Bowers. We got Colton Miller, Braden Smith, John Simpson at guard, DJ Glaze at guard, and then Jackson Powers Johnson. We got Max Crosby, then signed Boye Mafe. We got Adam Butler, CJ Flight, Tonka Hemingway, those guys there. Quincy Williams, Atlanta Roberts. Don't have our CB1. We'll figure that out. Darian Porter, Jeremy Chin, Quentin Lake, and then Caleb Downs. My goodness. And then the second one, I'm doing this for the audio-only people. No Max Crosby in this one. But Fernando Mendoza is the quarterback, Ashton Genty, Jeremy Bernard, Trey Tucker, and Jack Besh, Brock Bowers. Still Colton Miller, Braden Smith, John Simpson, DJ Glaze, Jackson Powers Johnson. Don't have Max Crosby, so it's Tyree Wilson, do or die year with Boye Mafe. We got Adam Butler and Caden McDonald. We got Tonka Hemingway for depth as well. Still the same linebackers, Quincy Williams, Atlanta Roberts, Colton Hood as our CB1, Darian Porter, Jeremy Chin, Quentin Lake. Whew!
We did what we could.
We did what we could. We did what we could.
It's a big project, and it's not a one-off season project, but this is a way better baseline that matches the hiring process.
I think so. Let's hammer out a couple of these super chats. Get through as many as we possibly can. Fredo, not $2 super chat said Lane Kiffin in Vegas will go crazy.
Yes, literally.
Yeah, part 2. Yeah, I think they already did go crazy.
CQ, NRAD, Pete Carroll's had a great career, but it's time for him to serve the highest good by retiring to the PFF basement with McCarthy. Amazing.
I'd love to have him in the office. He'd be a fun dude. Bring up the energy around.
Whoop your ass in one-on-one basketball.
Hey, I probably would. Charlie, $10 super chat said Jack Besh must have punted a small child. This man has only gotten 10 targets in this wide receiver group. Why did they even draft him? Don't know, man. Goes to what we talked about at the top of the show.
Andrew Eaton, thank you so much. I got a lot of crap for drafting Hampton 101 in my Dynasty League instead of Genty, but I pointed to who was going to block for Genty midway through the season. I feel mildly vindicated. Nicely done. Good scouting, Andrew.
Yeah, true. Yeah, you got to fix the offensive line. If the offensive line was going to be this bad, I think everybody probably would have took a Mambu, but they didn't know that there. Wyatt, $5 super chat. AP winning 5 of 7 as an interim set this franchise back a decade. Meaningless wins took us out of drafting Jaden Daniels or Drake May.
Man.
I mean, when you put it that way.
I mean, Wyatt knows. He's a diehard Raiders fan. I know he's been following our stuff for a while, and
Appreciate you, Wyatt.
He has a feel for the team as much as any fan, so he's not wrong.
Maze, $2 super chat, said y'all are the best in the industry.
Thank you, Maze.
Thank you.
An Arctic turn. Thank you for the $5 super chat. The Raiders Pimp My Ride episode is like if they stopped after putting in the aquarium, Genty, and kept the rest as a beater using a spare tire. Very good, Arctic. Very good.
Yeah, wait, hold on. Somebody said they're definitely putting a slot machine in the door for this episode. Who's the slot machine in the door that we added here? Who's the slot machine? Caleb Downs? Is he the slot machine in the door? Pull the lever. Could be rich, folks.
Unfortunately, he is.
Franchise QB gave us a $20 super chat. Said,
20
as a
euros.
20 euros. You're right.
20 euros goes a long way.
As a non-English speaking native, sometimes miss a few words of what you guys say. For months, I thought you were referring to us as the addicts, spelled out an attic.
Like what's above your house.
What's above your house. And that it was some kind of pun. Kudos from France. Please fix my Cardinals. Appreciate it, Franchise QB. Thank you for listening all the way over in France. Yeah.
Justin Pitt, thank you for the super chat. Thank you guys for being the best football podcast out there and being my main source of entertainment while I DoorDash and dodge people playing in traffic. Also, please fix my Browns here soon. Thank you very much, Justin. Hopefully we provide a little bit of entertainment when you're working. And yes, your wish will be granted on the Browns.
Yakko, finally catching this live. Weird hearing you guys at 1x speed. Shout out to everybody who listens to podcasts at 1.5 and 2x. Y'all are the real sickos, but we do love you for it. Don't forget, Al Michaels was traded to NBC for a cartoon rabbit. # last episode.
That's right. Storm Hayabusa, thank you for the $10 super chat. If you make the Cowboys defense look good, there is no pimping this team. We tried. Hopefully it looks a little better.
Bill, $5 super chat said, Patrick Graham's like that futon that you have in an old frat house. No one wants to deal with it, but it's starting to smell funky.
He comes with the place, man.
He does.
He'll be the DC as long as he wants.
This is like you inherit this. This is like your inheritance, to be honest. You're passing this down to future generations.
Ethan O is back. Thank you, Ethan. Trevor mutes the chats on mock drafts like a coward Sikkema.
Wait, what do I do?
You mute the chat on mock drafts.
How do I mute the chat?
I don't know. Also, Connor, as a Bears fan, I know a poverty franchise when I see one. Sorry, pal. Hey, Bears have had a solid year. Things are looking up with Ben Johnson. Maybe you're out of it.
Nicholas, $2 super chat. Malachi, Baby Jesus, Gabos, Tony. Malachi Toney does look pretty great, but we'll have 2 years to scout him.
That's baby Jesus to you.
I guess it is.
Matthew Dishon, thank you for the $20 super chat. Are we pimping the Cardinals anytime soon? Can they actually be pimped? First live show, by the way. Appreciate you guys. Maybe we might.
Every
They're
franchise
on the list.
Can be pimped. They are on the list.
Can be pimped.
They are on the list.
Thank you, Matthew.
Rakesh. Oh wait, yeah, he's next. Sorry I'm late to the Pimp Your Franchise episode. I was busy getting a mock draft simulator installed in my trunk. Let's go, baby. Keep up the great work, fellas. Appreciate you.
Hanging out in the parking lot with the boys, and you open your trunk and you all start a mock draft.
You just go to the parking lot at Walmart, pop open the trunk, sit there with a lawn chair, and just the mock draft's going. You're just asking people who are walking by to
what's your pick?
In the mock draft. Yeah.
Dr. Rosen, thank you for the $5 super chat. Had to finally donate to the NFL SE Yacht Fund, waiting on the day you release a strictly based off film hat.
Oh, that is good merch.
That's
good. That's some good merch there. Just another DJ said, reports from yesterday say the Raiders front office is safe, but Pete and Chip are on the hot seat. Front office wants to see the rookies play. Pete wants to win his way with the vets. That's exactly how we talked about this team in the first 20, 30 minutes of the episode, man. That's the way it feels. That is the way it feels. Yep. That SpyTech drafted players that Pete doesn't want to play. And that's just, you'll never have a successful franchise if you're not on the same page.
Dynasty developer, new viewer, love your guys' content. Welcome and thank you. You ever touch on fantasy football, particularly the incoming rookies, Strawberry Uncrustables till death?
We do.
We do.
Yeah, when we go through position rankings, we do so from, where we think these guys are going to get drafted, how well they can play, and then of course like the draft grades episode afterwards. I think there's a lot of fantasy content there. Hoffy, $2. Should have kept Jermaine Illuminor too.
Absolutely.
Very
Tackle
true.
guard flexibility. Good player. You're absolutely right. Ricky, New York Live. Why do sellers hold the ball? Guys not open or Commodore 64 speed processing?
It's
everything.
It's everything.
Yeah, he holds the ball really long. The offense stinks. The line's bad. He is not a fast processor right now, but it is everything.
Big Billy, bonjour from France.
Bonjour.
Man, France just representing in the chat. We love to see
yeah.
it. Finally awake for one of these. Listen to you guys pretend to fix this hapless franchise. Keep up the great work, Squirts. Appreciate you, Billy.
Billy, are you French or are you just in France? Because I have some French friends and they don't say hapless and they don't say squirts. So
he's on vacation, just flexing that he's in France.
I like it. Nicholas Sarans, thank you for the super chat. Is it true act behavior to be watching while taking an anatomy midterm? Don't worry, it's not that hard. I'm impressed.
Yeah, seriously. Yeah, that's good on you, honestly. Ethan, $5 super chat. Raiders will trade before the draft. Bears, please. An extra first to move up. And after 8 million years, finally draft a QB. So, Connor, did you know that the Raiders had not drafted a first-round quarterback since Jamarcus Russell?
I just thought of it when he said that. I was going in my head of all their quarterbacks.
Derek Carr for all those years, but yeah.
He was a second-round pick?
He was a second-round pick.
Wow,
yeah.
That's really interesting.
I didn't know that until Mo Maurice, who covers his team for Bleacher
Report.
Great
job.
Dude, an incredible job. I was reading his article as sort of a primer for the information that we were gathering, and he wrote that, and I was like, it blew my mind. I had no idea that they had not drafted a quarterback in the first round since Jamarcus Russell. So shout out to him.
Mr. Awesome, the $10 super chat. JPJ is done. SpyTech hates him. So does everyone else. I think that's supposed to be trash at guard or center. The Bucs took him off their board completely after he came in for a visit before the 2024 draft. All right.
Look, man. JPJ's a good player. If SpyTech hates him, then they're moving on. But I don't know. I'm going to keep him on the team, and he's a good player. So,
what is the role of an offensive coordinator under a head coach that calls plays? Someone with a similar system to reinforce the offense, or different system or different perspective? Seems like an apprenticeship at most. No, a lot of guys that have a title like that, they do all the install all week. They come up with the game plan. It's team by team. Some guys, they might specialize in the red zone. They might specialize, like when Mike McDaniel worked all those years for Kyle Shanahan, he was in charge of their run game specifically. And that was a crazy grind. He would be the run game coordinator all week and orchestrate all their run game. Calling plays is more about having a flow for the moment. But you can be an offensive coordinator that doesn't call plays, and you still did all the install all week, all the game planning and everything like that. So it's actually a job that gets underappreciated, in my opinion.
I agree. I think anytime it's always like a cohesive staff. Like it's not just the guy who's calling plays is calling everything. Like it really is a cohesive staff. Last one, Mitchell, $5 super chat, is lifelong Vikings fan. I don't think you need to do a fixing the Vikings episode. Just need to say fire Quessy and it'll all be okay. I don't know if we're gonna get to the Vikings this year, but man, they're very disappointing this year. I had the Vikings as a potential Super Bowl.
If this goes any worse, we are going to get to the Vikings.
Maybe we won't.
I do not like where things stand with
Mitchell,
them right now.
We might be getting to the Vikings. We appreciate you guys watching this one live, as we always do. If you want to follow the show, at NFLSE Show on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok. If you want to follow us, at Tampa Bay Trey, at Connor J. Rogers. Subscribe to the channel. Again, if you love this content, if you enjoyed this content, we would love for you to be a part of the Addicts and join us every single week. Monday, it might be another fixture franchise. We're trying to get to as many of these as possible, although a couple of you have mentioned that you would love for Power Rankings to come back. Maybe we need to throw a Power Rankings episode in there, but we're trying to run through as many fixture franchises as we possibly can because we love doing them. You guys clearly love watching them. And
that's the thing, man. Like, I'm even surprised the engagement and feedback we've gotten from this series. I don't really want to stop doing them. Our hesitancy always with doing Fix Your Franchise for this long, this many times in a row, is that people be like, well, I don't really care about the Panthers or whoever, so I'm not going to watch. And what we're seeing is that nobody's like that right now.
Right.
So,
I think doing the shows live and getting to go back and forth with the Addicts certainly helps in that regard. Yep. So we'll keep doing Fix Your Franchises. We'll keep doing the live shows because you guys seem to really love it. It's a show of the people. We appreciate you guys. D. Sauter said you guys would go. Wow, we appreciate it. We really do. We're just having fun talking football with you all. Oh, by the way, Barry in the lead here. The hat order has been placed.
Oh, they're back.
Got a couple of weeks. I'm not sure exactly when they're going to be here, but the hats have been restocked. I ordered a lot of hats. And I hope that they don't sell. No, look, I'm not going to say I hope they don't sell in 24 hours because I would love for you guys to sell them out in 24 hours. But we got a lot of hats that are coming in. So give us a couple of weeks. Could be early December, I feel like, maybe mid-December when they should arrive. So just before the Christmas holiday season, we should get the hats back and we should have those things available. So I won't tell you how large the hat drop is.
It's the biggest one, though.
It is the biggest one. By far, it is the biggest hat drop that we have had. So that is coming at some point. But yeah, appreciate everyone watching. Love you guys. For Tyler Cook, the chef behind the scenes, for Connor Rogers, I'm Trevor Sikkema saying thank you guys so much for watching this episode of the NFL Stocky Show.